Hello, welcome back to another TS 2020 video. Today we're going to be looking at the BR Southern Green HAL. Actually, it's 2-HAL. It's a British EMU Class 402. This is one of the scenarios that comes with the pack, so we're going to take a look at this. This is my first look. I've not really driven this thing, so we're going to see how we get on here. Looks like a nice little EMU though. And it recently came very cheap with the Humble Bundle sale currently going on, where you can get pretty much a ton of content for just about $12 US. Anyway, let's get started. It says, good morning, driver. The 2-HAL will make its way around London today. You'll be at the controls of the Class 402, also known as 2-HAL, and its BR Green livery from Bromley South to London, Victoria. You'll be joined by the BR Blue unit at Heron Hill before completing the service. Please allow passengers to board here before departing. Alright, so it's definitely got that old slam door cab controlled desk look, if you will. Alright, so we'll go ahead and throw it forwards, open the doors. Take a look outside real quick at the exterior. This is it's a pretty nice looking unit, especially the fact that it comes with a BR Blue and the Southern Green. So it's a nice touch. So there's our headlights. It's the rear, and I believe it's got a tail lamp. Run down and take a look at that. And it does. Very nice lantern. Alright, it's time to get going. Looks like we got quite a few stops. We'll go ahead and get the wipers on. Depot whistle. Brakes off. And let's take off. The adhesion may not be fantastic because it is snowing. Looks awfully cold. Don't know if this thing has sand. Okay, it would appear it does. We may need to use that at some point. One thing I noticed off the bat is the interior of this thing is very green. Like a pea soup, head spinning round, exorcism green. But it looks nice. I like the bare wooden floor, plywood with the deck screws. It's not a bad model. And it also would appear the light's on, but it's actually not. That's on. Alright, so our first stop is Shortlands, Platform 1. I have no clue how the braking is going to work here in this thing, but it actually doesn't seem too bad. Not sure how realistic that is, but so far so good, I reckon. Alright, and we are already really late. It's not shocking at all. Get a little head out action. Start open doors. It's a nice, beloved slam door units. Let's see if there's a coach interior. Ah, there is. It's alright. Nothing, nothing fantastic, but nothing terrible either. Like the lovely artwork. All right, so let's take off. Brakes released. Power applied. It's like your grandmother's upholstery. Alright, so the next stop is Beckenham Junction, Platform 2, 1.3 miles. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we're running all the way to Victoria. From the scenario summary. Let's take a look. Ah, indeed we are. London Victoria, Platform 4. Sand on there for good measure. Although I don't see the button itself while I'm applying it. I mean, it definitely shows up on the F4 HUD, but I don't know if it's actually applying sand or not, so we'll just leave it on for good measure. Handbrake there. Instrument lights, cab light, pretty basic. Is no AWS. I just remembered that. Saw the magnet. So we've just got to look out signal wise. Actually really have to pay attention. Get a little too ham-fisted with the brake, so we'll just let it off and reapply once we get towards the edge of the platform. Making us further late. If you haven't noticed yet, I've got the career scoring turned off. I reached level 50 and unticked the box. No longer trying pay attention to it, because some of the timetables on these career scenarios are pretty unrealistic and quite tight, as trains are very often late unless you live in Japan. This really is a decent model, exterior wise. Kind of reminds me of the Class 415. Alright, next up's Kent House. Not too far at all. In fact, I think all these stops are pretty much back to back. And I will absolutely butcher some of these names, but I'll try my best to get them somewhat close to the correct pronunciation. Sun visor actually works, nice. Get a few things to fool around with in the cab. For default run sounds, straight from Dovetail, they're not terrible. Alright, 4/10, Kent House. See if we can get a little bit more knife's edge with the braking. Go ahead and kill the power. Still went a little too heavy. That's pretty good there. So if I'm not mistaken, and I most likely am, I think the deal with these brakes are they're electro-pneumatic. And as far as controlling them in the game, you can't really get more braking force higher than about 40 or 50%. Or at least so it seems that way with some of the other stock, similar to the 402. Could certainly apply more, but see, there you go, it's at 50%, it's full service. Alright, so guard bell. Back at him. Something I was forgetting before. We're rolling. Rolling backwards, it's definitely not good. Right, next up, I'm going to call it Penge. 6/10. Platform 1. It's got one of the older limited cab views where you can't really turn all the way around. See if we can take it beyond 2/10 distance. Start braking. Although we're not going near as fast as that last stop. Alright, so that's half of all of our available braking force, and it's still pretty darn strong. As I mentioned, I'm not sure how accurate that is, but these brakes can easily get away from you. Lower speeds, it's not so bad, but you start getting up towards 50 and 60 and need to stop in a hurry, you're gonna have trouble. See if we can watch some of the door action here at the coach area. Get a little exterior sound as well when we take off. Guard whistle. Next stop, Sydenham Hill, 1.5. So this is a much farther distance from what we've had the last couple of stops. So braking this time should be a little bit more interesting. These things have a really strong resemblance to the 1003 classes on the Sacramento Northern route. Not one-to-one, but fairly similar. Kill the wiper for a minute. Save the blade. Alright, 1.13 to Sydenham Hill. Yeah, we're going to be at almost full speed for this stop, unlike the last several. Half a mile. Cut the power. Alright, 3/10. Should I start braking? Quarter mile. Let's do it. Start with about 2/3. Okay, all the way. Still pretty damn good. That's a bit of a shock. There's the bell. Alright, so the next stop's West Dulwich, 0.66. Much closer. Let's see what we've got left. Alright, so that's where we're going to couple to the BR Blue stock. We're currently in the Southern Green. Heron Hill, Brixton, London, Victoria. Look over at the secondman side, if there was such a thing on this unit. I think I've noticed right off the bat there's no wiper over here. 2/10. Just gonna try to get more risky with each stop. Try and get these brakes down. And it's absolutely stunning how late we are. I guess I've got to chalk it up to just not braking that well. Braking too soon. It's either that or this career timetable is just really strict, which it usually is, so it's not that shocking. Alright. Wait for the guard. There he goes. Alright, next stop, Heron Hill, platform 2. That's where we're going to couple up to the BR Blue Class 402 stock. Continue on to London Victoria from there. Do have a double yellow. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't relying on the AWS magnets, because that actually just reminded me that we do not have on-car AWS systems. Alright, 8/10. Still not quite sure what these are. I don't know if it's like a leather, some kind of iron strap maybe with a funky color. Alright, and that is a single. So we're going to go ahead and start braking, just to be sure, because it's going to be tough seeing these signals, this weather. Gonna try to refrain from hitting the tab key as much as possible. Could be able to zoom in here and see it in just a moment. Oh, it is definitely red. Alright, so we're either waiting on other services to move, or it wants us to tab and request permission to couple with the stock waiting at the platform. Alright, so it's set approved. I'm not sure that I trust it. Let's take a look at the map real quick. Make sure we've got nothing coming or going. Alright, here goes nothing. need to go too fast, as we're about to couple to the other stock sitting just right ahead of us. Nice and steady. It's going to be interesting to hop in the front of the BR Blue stock and see if it's any different. Because we obviously can't drive from this cab. Oh, there we go. Alright, so now it wants us to open the doors. So we'll go ahead and throw this in neutral. Kill our wiper, as I'm sure it's going to ask us to get up there, because it'd be pretty damn hard to drive from back here. Take a look at our BR Blue stock. Nice. I'm not sure which one I like better. Alright, so let's hop up in the front cab. Alright, Brixton. Alright, so, well, it looks pretty damn similar, I guess. Different colors. Well, it's got a horn, doesn't have the depot whistle. Let's get our wiper back on. Everything else looks pretty similar. Did notice the horns sitting atop here, which the Southern Green did not have. Yeah, I mean it's identical. Brixton just ahead. So we've got a slightly more heavy train now. How that's going to affect the braking physics doesn't feel much different acceleration wise. It did feel a bit heavier, but it's still manageable. I actually thought the braking on these was going to be much worse than it is. Let's go ahead and hop back out and take another look at the exterior. Didn't turn our headlight or head code on. In the passenger compartment. I want to take a look at that too, see if that's any different. No guard bell? Okay. We'll carry on. Next and final stop is London Victoria Platform 4. We got 3.13 miles. See if the interior is the same back here. Yep. Indeed it is. Just a little bit of brake as we are running downhill for a second here. Keep thinking I can rely on the AWS, but you cannot. The modernism kind of lulls you into a sense of false safety. Still green. Not so sure how smooth it's going to be near London Vic, because it's usually, from everything I ever play, you don't ever run right in. Wait at least one light. Right, 1 3/10 to our destination. Still green, thankfully. We do have a 60 coming up, but it's not going to last long enough. We've actually got to slow down a bit. So we'll just coast for the time being. Alright, so begins double yellow. Alright, well, I bite my tongue. We should be able to run right in. It's not very common. We do need to brake though. heavily. Alright, on approach to platform 4, 4/10 of a mile. Seems kind of quiet. Well, aside from the timetable being strict as a schoolmarm, it wasn't that bad of a scenario. It's pretty nice, short and sweet. And that wasn't supposed to happen. Ran over something that threw it in neutral and threw the emergency brake on, but let's get the doors open for the passengers now picking themselves up off the floor. Alright, well that's it. Scenario complete. Well done. You've completed the scenario successfully. Not bad. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, questions, like to see something, feel free to ask. But for now, that's it. We'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.